Are you struggling with being authentically yourself on social media? Are you having a hard time deciding on who I should be versus who I am? Well, today we're talking about how to show up authentically on social media and effectively provide your message and your brand to your audience. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Shani Sanders. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and coming back to this channel. And I guess if you return to this channel, you're watching my videos, then obviously I'm adding value too. So I'm really happy that you're here. Today, I wanted to talk about how to show up authentically on social media and how to effectively be yourself. And I think this is probably one of those conversations that really needs to be talked about, because so many times when I get people approach me and send me DMs on Instagram and want to know, okay, how can I do what you do? How can I build my own brand? How can I do it myself? How can I DIY it, right? And a lot of times I tell people, okay, so tell me, what do you want to do? What's your story behind your brand, your business? What are you willing to share on social media? And the first thing that people tell me is like, well, I don't want to show myself. I'm afraid to show myself. I don't want to show my family. I don't want to show my husband, fiance, boyfriend, or whatever, whoever it is. And I'm like, okay, I get it. A lot of people don't want to put their families on social media. A lot of people don't want to show their significant others. And that's okay, because I don't make my page all about my family and my husband and the kids all the time either. But I do share them at times, But one of the things I tell people all the time, if you want to show up authentically on social media, if you want to authentically be yourself, the first thing you need to do is try your best to not be other people. Don't try to be like other people. Be yourself. I think too often we compare ourselves to other people when we come on social media or Instagram, or for example, when we do our Instagram account, we're looking at other people who are in our niche. We're looking at other people who are in our brand, our business, or our field of work. And we're looking at them, and we're looking at the amount of people that's following them. We're looking at the stuff that they share. And then we begin to compare ourselves. And that's the one thing that hurts us when we start out on social media. You cannot compare yourself to other people. You can only be you. And the way that you show up being you is by understanding, one, your story behind your brand. I tell people this all the time, and I will continue to say this: people connect with people. We don't connect with logos. You cannot hide yourself behind your logo of your business, thinking that nobody wants to know the person behind the logo or the people behind the logo. We want to see you. We want to know what your story is. You want to know why you decided to build this business. What can you share as an entrepreneur, as a small entrepreneur, or as a brand, a major brand, that you can share with other people that will actually make them gravitate more towards you, actually make them understand, like, wow, you know what? I'm doing the same things that this person is doing. I'm going through the same things with building my business. But here this person is, she built her business and she did it. And so I wanted to really have this conversation about how to be authentically yourself on social media, because too often we come on here thinking that we have to be someone else. And then you say to yourself, God, it's so hard to keep up with being someone else. It's hard to be somebody else. It's hard to picture to be this perfect person, to have this perfect Instagram feed. Oh, every picture is perfect. Everything you post is perfect. When we know in real life, your life is not perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's. Anybody will tell you this. Any successful person will tell you this. Any great artist, whoever they may be, whoever you may look at and say that, oh my God, their life looks so perfect, they will tell you that their life is not perfect and that they are not perfect. And that's not who they are. And so you want to be able to project the image of relatability to people. You want to be able to relate to people. Listen, I come on YouTube, I come on my Instagram being myself. These videos that I'm doing, like I said, I don't know if people will watch them. I do them anyway, because I do this because I think I add value to somebody who may be thinking the same things I'm thinking, who might not be able to afford to hire content creators and photographers and all these different people, to help them build their brand. Like, I couldn't afford it. And so I had to do it myself. I have a husband, we have responsibility, we have kids, we have all this stuff going on. I could not afford to pay other people to do it. No matter the smallest amount, I just couldn't stretch it. And especially during COVID times, where funds got tight. And so I couldn't do it. So I had to really just find a way to do it myself. And that's why I created DIY social media. And that's why I'm building these courses. And so because I'm like, I can teach other people how to do exactly how I do it, because I feel like some people are where I am. And like, I want to build this brand, I want to do this business, but I don't know where to start and I don't know how to do it. I don't have the money to do it. And I'm like, you don't need it. You don't need the money to do it. You just need the time and the resources. That's all you need. And so being authentically, I decided to come on here authentically myself. But let me tell you my story, because to be yourself on social media is about your story. And everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And everybody's story doesn't have to be traumatic or like the underdog. Everybody's story doesn't have to be that, but you have a story anyway. You know, so my story behind my why I started my brand. The reason I started my brand is simply because I said this before. As you guys know with my channel, I'm launching my exit strategy. I'm a corporate America girl. I work in corporate, I work in digital, I work in tech. And I've been in this business a long time, and I felt like it was time for me to move. And what really has made me decide that is my mother. My mother suffers from dementia. And I realized that every time I talk to her on the phone, my sister has to remind her of who I am. So before my mother, as you know, with dementia, it is a progressive type of disease. And what happened is that over the course of the years, my mother would begin to repeat herself over the course of the years. And as her children, my mother has 10 children, right? And so over the course of the years, we noticed that she started, repeating herself a lot more, and we didn't really know what it was at first, although we did know that one of her siblings suffered from dementia. And so my mother's dementia really affects her short-term memory. Her long-term memory, my mother's 77 years old now. My mother was diagnosed with dementia probably when she was in her late 60s. And we begin to see it progress. And her doctor told us you will begin to see a decline in her memory. That's just the way it is. And, when it came to her long-term memory, she still knew that. But now with her being 77, over the past 2 years, we're beginning to notice that she's beginning to fit things in her long-term memory. And so I don't want my mother to have to be reminded every time she talks to me of who I am. It affects me every day. And it's like, it is such a hard thing to watch. My mother, who was a strong woman, who raised these children on her own, who worked 2 jobs to take care of us, who built me up to be this strong woman, the woman that you guys see in front of yourself sitting today. I've been through a lot of things in my life, and I'm strong. And I'm simply strong, and I'm resilient, and I can take care of myself, and I can go out there and really make a life for myself. Is because of what my mother has instilled in me. It's because of the kind of woman my mother is. And so she is the reason why I am. She is my reason why I am. And she is now my reason why I chose to launch my own brand and build my own business. Because I need to be able to have freedom of my time to be able to spend time with my mother. So that I'm not, missing from her life too soon, too often, where she doesn't remember me. I don't want my mother to have to be told who I am every time I talk to her. I don't want that. And so I launched this because she is my why. I love my husband. I love my family. I want more freedom. I want more time with my family, for us to cultivate our lives together as a family, to be able to travel and show my children the world and give them different experiences. And so my reasons, my why, that's my why. That's why I do this. That's why I come on here with these videos. I do these, I try to add value to people. What I do on all my social media. My mother's my why I launched my brand. She is the reason why. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to, I don't want to have to cap on how much I can make in my life. And that's what a salary at a job does. It caps. At some point, you're capped at what you can make. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be able to have no cap. I want to be able to travel. And like I said, spend time with my family and really see my mother a lot more. And right now I can't, because I have to work. And I have to take vacation, and I can't take it because this person might be taking it. And those are my why. That's my why. My mother's my why. Her increasingly progressive dementia is my why. She's strong still. She's still very strong. She's still there when we talk to her. Some of her is still there. But a lot of parts of her is not there anymore. I can share with you guys right now that I used to talk to my mother every day, all day long. My mom was one of those women who will call me all day long. It doesn't matter what I was doing, where I was at. When she want to call and she want to talk, I talk to her no matter what. She was the first person I talked to in the morning. She was the person I talked to throughout the entire day, more than my friends or anyone else, even when my husband came. But by the time my husband came, my mother had, was fully on her dementia. But she was always the last person I talked to at night. And I always loved that about our relationship. But now my mother is in a place where she can't even have a cell phone anymore. She don't remember she had one. She won't answer and she turns it off. So it's hard to even get in contact anymore. So just imagine me going from talking to my mother every day, all day long, first person in the morning, last person like multiple times throughout the day, to now talking to her maybe once a day, if I can get it. So it's been a very hard progress. It has been a very hard road for us as her children. And I'm the baby of the family. I'm the last one. So I'm the one that looks most like her. I look exactly like my mother. And so it's just hard for me to see her in that stage. And it's been a real eye-opening dealing with this particular disease, because dementia is something that really affects your entire family. It does not just affect my mother. It affects all of her children, all of her grandchildren, like her great-grandchildren, who she has to be reminded of who they are. So I don't want to get into the story because I'll get too emotional, but my mother is my why. And so I show up, I'm myself, authentically myself on social media, simply because I know what my why is. I don't try to compare myself to other people. I try to stay authentically in my own lane and what I like to do. You know, as people, we are so diverse. We have so many things we want to do, and we have so much that we can share. And I tell people all the time, if you have things that are off limit, that is fine. You don't have to show every little piece of your life on social media. But all we're saying that when you show up on social media, be authentic. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in your brand. You have to believe in your message more than we do. Because if you don't believe in what you're selling, if you don't believe in what you're offering, then how are we going to believe it? So you really just want to know who you are, know your why behind before you step out there. Because so many people are afraid to step out there. So many people are afraid to say, hey, I don't even look my best. Like, I want to do social media, but I don't want to show my face. I don't want to show my body. I don't want to do full pictures of myself. I don't want to do any of that. And I just keep saying to them, why? This is your business. You cannot hide behind your logo. We want to see you. We want you to talk to us. We want to connect with you because we connect with you, not the logo, not the product that you're offering. I'm only buying your product because of you. So that's the difference. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. When I launched Shani Sanders brand during COVID, I can be 100% honest with you guys. I am probably the biggest I've ever been in my life with the weight that I've gained throughout COVID. And it's been a struggle with me trying to get it off. You know, it has truly been a struggle. I'm dealing with lower back issues that I never dealt with before. I'm not able to, do weights and do all the real vigorous cardio workouts that I was so used to doing to keep my weight off. Now, only thing I can do really is walk. And so I just been walking a lot more, and trying to pay attention to what I'm eating, but it's been a struggle. And so when I launched my brand, I'm like, the self-talk that we say to ourselves, I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You actually gonna show your entire self in a photo? You actually gonna get on YouTube and show your little fat face? Are you serious right now? Maybe you should wait until you look better. Maybe you should wait until you're smaller. Maybe you should just wait. Just wait until you're at a better place where you look better and you feel more confident about yourself. Because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to confidence. And so I didn't have a confidence in myself. So I began to talk myself out of actually launching. And I'm gonna tell you what I had to do. I had to step back and I had to say, you know what? I see women of all shapes and sizes on Instagram who are so confident. What's wrong with me? We have to love ourselves at every stage of our life, no matter what we look like. You still have to love yourself because it's you. Through it all, it's you. And if you don't love yourself, who will? God always loves us. Always. We have our faith to turn to. Whatever your faith may be, you have your faith to turn to. I know God loves me exactly the way I am. I am made in His image. I am perfectly, the way that I am right now, I am exactly how I should be. And so I had to tell myself, love yourself exactly where you are. It doesn't matter. Love yourself at every stage. You can love yourself when you look the best, as your most fit self. And you can love yourself when you're not as fit as you want to be. And that's okay. You don't have to always try to be perfect and look like this perfect being. And not to say that people who are super fit are trying to be perfect. That's just their nature. That's just who they are. They're committed, they're dedicated. And that's who I am. I'm committed and I'm a dedicated, I'm a regimented kind of person. And so to have fallen off of that was just like shocking. And not to be able to get back to that like I really want to has been a hurdle that I really had to overcome. But I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to push past my fears and I'm going to still show myself, because you know what? This is who I am, and love me just the way I am. I'm not here to try to prove anything. And the one thing I want to tell people about showing up authentically yourself on social media is that you must always start from a place of, I have nothing to prove but everything to share. If you start from a place of, I'm just sharing who I am, I'm sharing what I've learned, I'm sharing myself, I'm sharing my fashion style, I'm sharing whatever it may be, I'm sharing it with them. I'm not proving it to them that I can do that. I'm not proving to them that I look good in this outfit, or proving to them that I can speak on a subject confidently. And I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just sharing it with you because I'm sharing what I've learned over the course of my career, being in the field, whatever field that may be, or whatever business or brand you may be building. You're sharing that with people. You have something to offer. You have something to share. So share that. That's how you show up authentically on social media, by changing your mindset and saying, it's not about me proving myself. It's not about me trying to be like the next person. It's really just about me being me and sharing what I have with other people. You come from a share perspective, an adding value perspective, not a perspective of, I gotta be like everyone else. So many influencers has fallen into that category of just trying to be like everyone else. And so they're being like everyone else, and they're putting up this false picture of themselves because they're not perfect, but the feed looks absolutely perfect. The feed looks amazing when we know behind that feed is a messy person just like the rest of us. We're all messy people. Listen, we all a train wreck, and we all got things that we deal with. We all have issues and things that we self-doubt, fears, all that stuff that really bothers us. We deal with anxiety, we deal with depression, we deal with relationship issues, we deal with marriage issues, all that stuff affects our life, all that stuff. But you still have to be yourself. So the way that I show up authentically on social media is that I just come from a place of, I have nothing to prove but everything to share. That's where I come from. And when it comes to your messaging with your brand or your business, you have to be confident in your messaging. You can't tell us that, let's say for instance, you're a woman that does sustainable fashion wear, or, you're a life coach and you want to coach other people on how to build a better life, how to live their best life. But yet you don't want us to see you. You just want to live behind the message only. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do we know you believe your message? How do we know that you're living your best life if you don't show it to us? To be a life coach, you have to show us that you're living that best life. You can't just tell a person how to live it. You have to be the example of it. And guess what? That doesn't mean your example is perfect. Life is not perfect. To live your best life does not mean my life is perfect. To live your best life is to say that I enjoy my life no matter what it looks like. That I'm gonna enjoy these different stages of my life no matter what it looks like. That's what living your best life is. Living my best life doesn't mean I got all the money, the cars, the clothes, I'm living this grand lifestyle. No, living my best life means like mentally I'm at peace with who I am. Physically, I love my body. I love who I love the way I look, and I'm confident, and I'm gonna show it to everybody because I don't care. This is me. That's what living your best life is, and not connected to material things, and not connected to some life that you're trying to achieve, this goal. No, living your best life starts with you and being happy with who you are and being confident with who you are. So if you want us to believe your brand message, if you want me to follow you as an influencer, then show me that you're a real person. Don't just show me that you can take some really cool pictures and you can add a really cool filter to them and you got these brand sponsorships. Show me who you are behind all of that. Show me who I need to connect with. People, we can be inspired by people in so many different ways. Fashion inspirations, I don't know, everything, anything. Fit goals. Like I follow a lot of fitness people because, oh my God, they're inspiring to me. Because I'm like, listen, when I'm able to get this back right, I'm getting on it like you, girl. I'm doing it like you do it. Because it's a lifestyle for them. It's not just them just doing it one time. It's a lifestyle. And we know that if you want to change something, if you want to be more confident in something, it has to become a lifestyle for you. And you have to practice it. So being confident and showing up confidently and authentically on social media is something you just have to practice. It's something where you got to take a step. Take the first step. When I first took my first picture of myself, as heavy as I am, at my biggest, I just did it. The picture, I said, okay, you know what? The picture doesn't look so bad. I'm gonna just put it out there. So that was me stepping past my fears and stepping out into my authority. That's what means living my life in the sunshine, like Mary J. Blige would say. You know, because I just watched the documentary, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it because it's absolutely amazing. But just stepping out there and living your life in the sunshine and saying, you know what, I'm gonna put this picture out there for the world to see. And I don't care what people think. I know there's going to be somebody who's going to resonate with me in this message that I got, because there is. There are people, you guys right now that are watching this video, this message is resonating with you because you probably feel like, that's exactly where I am. Oh my God, somebody else is feeling this way too? That I'm torn between who I want to be on social media and who I should be versus who I am. And just be who you are. Don't show up on social media as somebody that you're not, because that's going to show through. And you're not going to be able to keep up with it. You're not going to be, I promise you, you're not going to be able to keep up with not being authentically yourself on social media. And if we're talking about building the brand, and if we're talking about building the business, that's what we want. Why do you think so many of these major brands are now connecting with influencers? Because they've built themselves as a brand behind a logo, and they're not connecting with their audience. They want deeper connections with their audience, with their customers. And so they use influencers because influencers now have that deeper connection with their audience. They see their audience look at them as someone of influence, someone that say that, hey, you know what, I love what this person is doing. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to invest in them. You know, whatever brands they talk about, I want to be a part of, because they must be either eco-friendly or sustainable or whatever it may be, more organic. So that's why they connect with influencers, because they have to put faces to their brand. It can't just be the logo anymore. We're gone of the days where a brand or a company can stand behind a logo thinking that we don't want to lift that veil of that logo and let us see who you are. Those days are gone. You have to be authentically yourself. I tell people all the time that come into our clubhouse rooms, that come and ask me, DM me questions. If you want to be on social media, we need to know your story. We need to know your why behind your brand. We need to see more of you on your page, because we connect with you. And a lot of them have such a hard time doing that. And I completely understand that, because they're struggling with confidence. And confidence is something that you're going to consistently deal with throughout your life. I consistently deal with confidence throughout my life. Not just in my business and showing up on camera, but that's just even in my marriage, your friendships. Like, you deal with confidence in every area of your life, no matter what. But you have to find a way to push through it, and you have to find a way to say, you know what, I'm doing this for me. And that's how you show up confidently on social media. Please, all you have to do is start with, number one, I don't have nothing to prove, but everything to share. Start from a value add perspective. Don't think about yourself. Think about what you can offer to people. Think about what you can add to someone's life. What have you been through in your life that you probably can share with someone else, if your brand represents that? Because your story is going to resonate with people. Trust me, I know so many people who are dealing with parents of dementia. I know so many people who are tired of being in their 9 to 5 and want to be able to build a legacy of their own, leave their kids something, be able to have freedom, which is why I launched my exit strategy for my corporate job. So there's a lot of people who are looking to transition from corporate to entrepreneurship and don't know where to start, are afraid to put themselves out there. I just wasn't afraid. I just jumped past my fears. Not that I wasn't afraid, that's a lie. I was scared to death. But I jumped past it. I moved past it and said, I'm going to step out here anyway. It's still a scary thing to think about, that I'm going to be exiting that job. You know what I mean? Because I depend on the paycheck. The paycheck is what I depend on. It takes care of the bills in this house. It takes care of the family. You know, so it's just, but at the same time, I know I can count on me. I know I can count on me more than anything. So I get up every day. I plan my social media. I plan it out, you know, because that helps us stay consistent, and it really helps you when we're able to plan ahead. And I take my photos, I do these videos, I record my podcast, and I show up and I be myself. And being vulnerable enough to say to you guys that, hey, I struggle with the same thing. I struggle with confidence. It's hard to stay motivated sometimes. You get setbacks, but I still have to push through it no matter what. You know, I have my faith to hold on to. You need to have something else to hold on to, something that's going to guide you through those hard times. And the faith will push you through. The faith you have in God, or whatever your religion may be, that will help you move past your fears and your doubts. Move that person that's talking in your head, because the one thing I can tell you, the most negative person in our lives is ourselves. We are our most negative person. We are our most harshest critic. When you see one thing, people see beauty. When you see ugliness, people see beauty. They see beauty in you. When you think you're not adding value, people's like, wow, you just really added to my life. So if I could tell you anything today, is to step past your fears and to step out in the lights. Live your life in the sunshine. Step out on social media and be yourself. Show us who you are. Keep some things that you want to yourself. You don't have to share every personal thing with us on social media. Keep your children to yourself if that's what your choice is. Don't show your husband. Okay, that's fine too. But we need to see you. Show me you. We want to see you and we want to connect with you because you have something to add and you have something of value and you have nothing to prove but everything to share. I'm Shani Sanders, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really hope this video helps you guys because I really wanted to have this conversation. If you like this video, listen, thumbs up, please. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button so that way you'll know when I'm uploading videos every week, which I do. Hit the notification button so you'll get notified once that actually happens, because you have to be a part of this community. This is an engaged community and I love my fans, my followers, my subscribers. I'm so glad that you guys are a part of this journey with me. I'm so glad you guys are even listening to this conversation, because you could have been like, oh, I gotta go. But I'm glad you're here. But let's just continue this journey, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I see you guys next week.